And it's related. The idea of the fall is related to losing that capacity.
Yeah.
So losing the capacity of correctly naming the animals or correctly perceiving the world according to its spiritual meaning. So yeah, so we can't imagine what that means, obviously.
And in the
Because we're
Bible,
not
like
in that
that
state.
image is there in the story, because when Adam and Eve are chased from the garden, the consequences that God gives to Adam and Eve are that, like, the idea that Adam will have to work the ground, and the idea also that there will be thorns, is this notion that it's as if the earth is revolting against Adam's mediating principle, or else he's losing his capacity to be a natural mediator, and so he has to supplement that state with effort. Like he has to be careful, because the potential, the world, let's say the created world becomes dangerous for him, and so he has to fight it off in some ways, and he has to hold it at bay so that he can continue to play that role as mediator.
Yeah, well, yeah. The idea is that well, this will give us other examples of microcosm in the Bible as well. The idea is that after the fall, humanity has to correct or fix certain things artificially in order for the meaning and the fact to match correctly. So, so for example, there's a lot of examples in the Bible. Like you said, working the ground. In the garden, Adam naturally gets food. But this is, see, now if we want to talk about these things, we have to, again, define a lot of terms. But that's another example of being a mediator between heaven and earth. Humans eat food. Okay, food comes from the earth.
Yeah.
We eat it, it becomes our body. So it's kind of a reproduction of what I said before. When God created Adam, he formed him from the earth. Well, each time we eat, we're doing that in a way. We're
gathering the earth into ourselves.
In a way that works, because we can't just eat soil, obviously. We have to arrange the matter in a way that it will be able to host our intellect, our patterns, our ideas. So you eat certain foods that can host your mind. That's the idea, your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So not all matter can do that. And the idea is that in the garden, there was a natural way in which this happened with the fruits of a tree. And then once we lost that, then we had to fix things so that they could host meaning. So the greatest example of that is the idea of building the temple.
Mm-hmm.
So why do they have to build a temple?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to artificially join heaven and earth. It doesn't happen in a natural way anymore because of the fall. So now we have to arrange the facts in a way, artificially, so that they're able to host the identity, the breath, the spirit of God.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes like a body for God. Similarly, when we eat food ourselves, we have to arrange it. We cook it. We fix it. We don't eat raw meat, for example, because if we do, we might get sick. Mm-hmm. Getting sick means that it doesn't host our spirit correctly. That's what it means. So when you cook food and you arrange it in a way that it becomes edible, it's kind of the same thing as building a temple. It means you're arranging certain facts so that they can artificially host your spirit, your mind.
Yeah.
Naked means natural. It's like the most primitive state. Now, there's nothing wrong with nakedness until the fall.
Yeah.
Because things were naturally mediated correctly. That's the idea of the fall. And then when there's the fall, it means Adam and Eve tried to eat something they couldn't handle. That means they tried to include facts that they didn't know what to name, how to explain with their theories. That's really what it means. So when you eat something that you can't handle, that's the miniature version of a bigger picture where you see things that you don't know how to name. You can't name. You can't identify.
Yeah, and that has something to do when Jordan Peterson is always talking about this kind of entry into chaos, where you face something which disrupts you, what you know. It's like, and all of a sudden you don't know. Like he talks often about this idea that, you know, you find out that your spouse has been cheating on you for 10 years, and so that like that hitting of a fact or something that you can't handle, you know, throws your whole world up into upheaval, and it's like everything is on the verge of falling apart. And so then you have to work at putting things together. Like you have to,
Yeah.
it's like it needs the work to bring things back.
You have to
a
fix
cohesive
things.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. You have to fix things, make them fit your mind again, make
Yeah.
them fit your plans. Let's say you have plans.
Yeah.
Something happens that isn't part of your plan and you don't know what to do with
Yeah.
it makes you wander.
Yeah, it could be
Okay.
anything. Your car breaks
Yeah.
down. You're driving on a trip, your car breaks down, all of a sudden you have to change your plans. If you don't, you're going to wander and be into absolute chaos. You have to work to rearrange things so that it can fit what you're trying to do, or that it can lead to something that isn't just absolute, you know, nothingness, right?
So at the individual scale, we're talking about eating before, taking in matter into your body. So that same concept exists at a slightly bigger scale, which is the scale of a society. A society or a civilization eats. But what does it eat? It eats people. It looks crazy to say it doesn't literally eat people with the teeth, but the society is a being, and it integrates more individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody is integrated into a society, that's a larger scale version of an individual eating food, and that's very important in the Bible.
And the way it eats people, let's say, to not make it sound crazy, is that it integrates their work, it integrates their businesses, it integrates their tax money, it integrates, you know, their children, and it also makes them part. It makes those
gives
people,
them an identity.
Yeah, and gives them, exactly, that's what I was going to say.
And
it
laws.
makes them participate in the identity of the city or of the nation or of the group, whatever that is. It gives them, it says you're part of this group, and your exchange, like your trade for that, is that you give me your strength, your work, your services, so that we all participate in this unity, like this unity. So yeah, it's a perfect example of that appearing at different scales.
And it's actually exactly the same thing that we do when we eat food, because food is matter. We eat it, it becomes our body. What does that mean, become our body? It means now you will follow the laws of this being, the laws. Mm-hmm. So my hand used to be a sandwich. It's not a metaphor. I mean, I ate a sandwich, it became my flesh. Now this flesh follows the instructions of my head. It follows the laws. It follows my identity.
Yeah.
It doesn't follow only its natural state anymore. Again, there's no metaphor in there at all.
Yeah.
So at a bigger scale, individuals are eaten by a society. It means they're integrated into that body and on the condition that they follow the laws of that society. Yeah. They follow the rules. So that's like the sandwich becoming my flesh and following the laws of my head.